Let's talk about Eric Adams. So Eric Adams was
Mm.
hit with bribery charges, and then I can give y'all a little bit of a idea of what's going on. So we're gonna play this little video, and we're gonna talk about what led up to his bribery, and then we're gonna knock this out.
Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on multiple federal charges in an alleged decade-long corruption case. The charges were revealed in an unsealed indictment on Thursday. The Democrat is facing 5 charges, including bribery, wire fraud, and 2 counts of soliciting of a contribution by a foreign national. The 57-page indictment details what prosecutors call Adams's, quote, corrupt relationships with foreign business people, including at least one Turkish government official. The claims date back to 2014, when he was the Brooklyn borough president. Adams denies the charges, but prosecutors say he knew what he was doing.
As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal. And even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him.
This is not surprising to us at all. The actions that have unfolded over the last 10 months, the leaks, the commentary, the demonizing, this did not surprise us that we reached this day.
Andy McDonough, deputy City Hall reporter at the news organization City and State New York, joins me now from City Hall. Thanks for being with us. Okay, explain to us these charges and some of the incidents of alleged bribery and solicitation that the prosecutors laid out in this indictment.
Sure, you ran through the main counts there, but I kind of put them in 2 categories. There's soliciting and accepting travel benefits, things like business class flight upgrades, free stays in luxury hotels, entertainment, food, on behalf of Turkish nationals who expected to receive some sort of benefit or favor with the then borough president of Brooklyn. Second category is, as you mentioned, soliciting and accepting illegal donations from foreign nationals. Mainly, it appears in the form of a straw donation, illegal scheme.
So essentially, I did look at the press conference that the feds laid out as far as what they were charging him. So to just give you all a snapshot of it, he, ever since he was ever in politics and they looked at him as a rising star in politics, they've been in his pocket. And so he stayed at the Bentley suite. Whenever he would fly, he'd been to all kind of countries, and he would fly through Turkey.
Who cares?
Get all
Who cares?
Get all of the upgrades.
There has to be more. Like, I'll watch his press conference, and I'll watch I'm like, nigga, you didn't hold on. A fancy.
I gotta get an audience an update of what's going on, because they may not have as much insight as you have and I have. So he's received all of the upgrades and all of this stuff, and in addition to that, when it was time for them to call on him for a favor, so for example, when they was opening up the Turkish consulate, whatever in New York, and they've spent over $10 million towards his campaign contributions and donations and through special acquisitions and through straw contributions through other people in order to get him elected when it was time to call on him. So for example, the fire department wasn't saying that the Turkish consulate was safe in order for them to open it. They were pressured. They called on Mayor Adams and they said specifically, "It's your turn. It's time for you to show us some love and get some favors popping." And so he pressured them, and they were in fear of losing their job, pushed it through, and all of this stuff. And so a lot of corruption that was going on all around them, things like that, right? And so he's received over $100,000 plus in upgrades and lifestyle and all of this stuff. So, and campaign contributions in order to keep him in power, and so on. So go ahead, Quinn.
I just don't think, like, nigga, you didn't get shit. Nigga, you got a couple $100 in some first class flights, nigga, in a fancy hotel, nigga. You about to go to jail for that shit? And it's like,
I think he's gotten a lot. I think he's gotten a lot more than that.
He did something to somebody else, nigga. Because this ain't.
No,
I feel like maybe it's just me. Like, it ain't like he got stuff for millions and millions. Like, I don't get it.
According to him, it's Biden and Kamala.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And he was doing hearts with Diddy, nigga, on the steps. He was the other half of the heart, nigga.
Well, what's also being
Yeah, I do
alleged.
think he's a criminal, but I also, just like Anton say, two things can be true. I do think that
They could have
yeah,
overlooked it.
Biden Kamala probably did go after him because he,
Yeah.
he was all like for the immigration, and then I don't think none of those Dems really like it, but once it started really affecting New York, he was like nah, and they were like no, you need to follow through with it.
Then I was like, "Fuck, we about to get you up out of here. Get him,
Yeah.
get him on them lame ass $100 charges, and hit him with the max."
What they're also saying is was not being described is that you know how these contracts, because he's surrounded himself and he's basically had everybody as his aides and the people that's getting these jobs and stuff up to this point was people that was just a part of his inner circle. And so what they're saying and what they're alleging also, which is why they went after everybody else that was around him, was that, for example, with this migrant crisis, for these staffing contracts and nursing contracts and all of this stuff, it's basically being alleged also that his friends are the ones that got a lot of those contracts and that it's a lot of money that's being funneled in and out, even though that's not a part of the official charges and allegations up to this point as far as bribery.
Let's be clear. They could have looked over this, and we would not have never heard nothing about it if he didn't say nothing about Kamala and Biden.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't. It's like I understand, like the ramifications are huge, and like, but it just ain't a lot, and it ain't blatant either.
Yeah.
Tiffany Henry
Yeah.
shit more blatant. Is more blatant than this nigga, but they like fuck her, nigga.
Yeah.
They've been looking
Somebody
at that
said
bitch
that.
for decades, and they ain't said shit.
Yeah, somebody said that. Somebody said, why does others go unchecked?
Because
And
it ain't New
all
York
of a
City.
sudden,
That's a fact. You when you're the mayor of what is arguably the most powerful city in the world,
Financial capital of the world.
when you are the mayor of the most powerful city of the world with 8 million people and the majority of the world's millionaires and billionaires inside of the United States of America calling you to residence versus fucking Dalton, Illinois, it's a big difference.
Have you been to New York?
Have I ever been to New York?
Yeah.
I've had meetups in New York. Yeah, I've been in New York.
Them niggas is stacked on top of each other, nigga. They up, nigga. They all
Yeah,
like roaches.
yeah.
yeah, that's
You gotta have,
why I hated living there.
yeah, you gotta have air rights in New York. Like the rights for somebody not to build a building bigger than yours to mess up your view. That's how much money you gotta have up in New York.
I remember I went there and they had like cars like stacked on top of cars, and I was like, this shit is nasty.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's how they do the valet now.
I love major cities.
I
I
like
I
to
don't.
visit. I don't like to stay there.
dog. I listen. I believe that if you are a person that does not have small kids, then I think that everybody should more than likely move to a major city.
Yeah,
100%.
major city is not the move for kids.
Yeah, if you're raising small children, I think it's different. But if you are a person that has bigger children, or you are a professional, or any of that, any past the in between stage of having smaller children that are in school, I think that the city life helps you level up in every fucking way. It's more competitive. The people look better. You have to try harder. You one person away in order to get to the next level. Like it's more fun. You live and work and play in the same. Like you level up when you are not isolated away. I believe in the most instances away from people. Now I'm not saying this for everybody, but I believe that for most people, it would help them to get out of their comfort zone. It would force them to level up, and people wouldn't be so fucking dusty. Like if you go to any of the 10
They,
major
I don't
cities,
know.
10, 20, 30 major cities, and you stay in the core of it, you're going to fucking win.
I don't know, Anton, because maybe that's Detroit, but in DC they dusty there too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So
I'm saying it's not going to absolve the dustiness. You're going to get the good with the bad. But I'm saying that in general, like, look, when you go to New York, yeah, you're going to have the New York, right? The New York is going to New York it. But let's just say you going back and forth to Manhattan, and you interacting and stuff, and you in a major city. I even know like the difference between the suburbs here and everywhere, because I travel to a lot of places. The difference between the suburbs and being in the core of the city and downtown, it's like night and fucking day. People care. They always working. They always looking in shape. They always fucking dressing better and stuff. It's a lot more to do. Even with the restaurants and DoorDash and shit, like it don't be nothing open out here past a certain time.
But see, New York works differently, right? Because I lived in New York and I lived in Jersey City, which is 5 minutes outside of New York. It's really no difference, right? But if you live in Manhattan and then you live in the boroughs, that it can be a little bit of a difference, as far as like being so stacked on each other. But other than that, the whole city is fast, right? So,
Well,
you know,
I ain't talking about New York in particular. I'm saying any major
uh,
city, any major
well,
city.
yeah, in DC is too small. Like I I grew up there my entire life. DC is too small. And now that they have, almost 1 million people living there, it's too much. It's no parking. You can't park anywhere.
You ain't
You
supposed to
can't.
park. You supposed to be walking, Mika, and catching cabs. Why you looking
Who
like
walking?
that,
Who walking? I don't
Mika?
walk outside.
Mika.
It's a million people in DC.
800,000.
That's not a million, but okay.
I said close to 1 million. Run it back.
That's
You
too
did say
much.
that. You did say that.
That's too much, man.
No, it's not, Slimmy.
It's too
Fuck
much for
that.
no. It's too much for our city because it's only like 25 square miles. Like it's
Yeah,
really
it's not
small. Like
big.
you can run through DC in probably about 20 minutes, one side to the other side. It's very small.
It's not
It's too
big.
small for what we got. So I'd rather live in the suburbs. And I like
Really?
space. Yeah, I don't like hearing people. I don't like to come outside and actually see somebody on my stoop or near my door. I don't like it.
I love the city.
Only person I want
I,
near my door, only thing I want near my door is Bambi. That's it.
I love that shit on the weekends. During the week, I don't want to hear that noise. I ain't gonna lie. I
I
don't be
can't
wanting to
believe
hear.
y'all acting like geezers.
No, I'm saying like during the week, like. I don't know, man. It's just like I just be wanting to be peaceful. On the weekend, I could understand. Like I would live in the city on the weekend, and
Oh.
during the week, I would just rather have that peace. I'd rather have that peace for like 4 days off the week.
All
On the
y'all, all
weekend,
y'all, all y'all done been acclimated. You, Quentin, and Mika has all been acclimated to the suburbs.
nah, it's noisy where I'm at. Shit, I'm tired of that shit.
Y'all
It's
all been
noisy.
acclimated, man.
It's
These
peaceful where I'm
motherfuckers be
at. I
shooting
look
guns
outside,
and all kind of dumb
I
shit.
look out my window, and it's the Potomac. It's so peaceful.
Y'all sold out.
Hey, call it what you want, bro. I ain't trying. I don't want to hear all that shit, man.
Y'all sold out, man.
Man, you
No,
heard
it's
that shit on
it's
a
so
couple episodes
peaceful.
ago when the motherfuckers was yelling outside my window. That's too much.
Yeah.
That
He
was
was
too
like, "What's
much,
that
man.
noise?"
No,
Like,
it's not supposed to be.
these
It's not
heifers don't
supposed to
even.
be like that, Slimmy. But
Yeah, these heifers not. They don't even live over here though, man. They outside making noise. They don't even live over here. They just outside making noise. Like they single, so they just girl
that could happen anywhere. That could happen in the suburbs, bro.
It cannot happen where I'm
in the
at.
suburbs.
That's what I'm saying. And that ain't the. That don't mean that that's city specific. That just means that you got badass neighbors.
Yeah, them motherfuckers. They don't give a fuck. They don't care.
I love the city.
So when you
I
go in the city, it's
love the city.
even worse.
I
It's gonna be
love the
crazier.
city, bro. The city has got my heart. Captured my heart a long time ago, bro. Like way long time ago. I remember when I first went to New York, my very first time that I went to New York, I fell in fucking love, bro.